The judge ended a murder trial without explanation. 3 hours later, the courtroom locked itself. The courtroom clock stopped at 4:17 p.m. Not slowed, not broken, stopped. The judge noticed first, because the second hand twitched once, then froze like it had been told to stay quiet. Outside, thunder rolled across the city. Inside, a murder trial ended faster than anyone expected. No closing arguments, no jury deliberation, no verdict. Just one sentence from the bench. Court is adjourned. Charges dismissed. Gasps moved through the gallery like wind through dry leaves. The accused man blinked. The prosecutor stood halfway out of his chair. Even the bailiff hesitated, because nobody dismissed a case this serious without explanation. Not after 3 weeks of testimony, not after blood evidence, not after a confession. But the judge didn't explain. He gathered his papers, avoided everyone's eyes, and walked out. The doors slammed behind him. Something about it felt wrong, like a conversation cut off mid-sentence. If stories about hidden truths and silent justice pull you in, subscribe now to the Unheard Witness, because sometimes the truth waits until everyone leaves the room. People whispered as they filed out. Reporters complained. Lawyers argued quietly near the benches. The accused man stood frozen, free, but not relieved, because freedom shouldn't feel heavy. And yet it did. He looked toward the evidence screen. Still black, still unplugged. It had malfunctioned earlier, right before the judge ended everything. Coincidence? That's what everyone said. Outside, rain started falling hard. Within minutes, the courtroom emptied. Lights dimmed automatically. Security locked exterior entrances. Routine. Normal. Except one person didn't leave. The court clerk. She returned to gather paperwork left behind during the chaos. Files stacked crookedly, coffee cups abandoned, a chair overturned near the witness stand. She frowned. Someone had rushed. She bent to pick up a folder and heard it. A click behind her. She turned. Nothing. Empty benches, dark windows reflecting only shadows. She laughed nervously. Probably air pressure. She packed documents into a box, walked toward the doors, pulled the handle. It didn't move. She tried again. Locked. From the outside. Her smile faded. Courts never locked occupied rooms. She knocked. Hello? Silence answered. Her phone showed no signal. The basement sometimes blocked reception. Still. Uneasy. She walked toward the side exit. Locked. Emergency exit. Locked. That wasn't procedure. Her breathing sharpened. Someone had secured every door. After hours. With someone still inside. Somewhere above her. Footsteps crossed the ceiling. Slow. Measured. Not security. Security announced themselves. She waited. The steps stopped directly overhead. Then silence again. A chill crawled along her arms. She grabbed the desk phone. Deadline. That's when the lights flickered. Once. Twice. Then half the courtroom went dark. Only the judge's bench remained illuminated under a single overhead lamp, like a stage waiting for actors. She whispered, "Okay, not funny." Her voice echoed back too loudly. She walked toward the bench, because instinct said answers were there. The judge's folder still rested on the wood. He never left documents behind. Never. She opened it. Blank pages, every sheet empty, except the last. A photograph clipped inside. She froze. It showed the accused man standing beside someone else. Someone blurred deliberately, but behind them. The courtroom itself, same room, Same benches, taken weeks earlier, before trial began. Why would the judge keep that? She turned the photo. A single handwritten line. Do not reopen this case. Her stomach dropped, because the judge had ended the trial early, not to free someone, but to bury something. The overhead balcony creaked. She looked up. Movement crossed behind the glass viewing panel. A silhouette, watching. She stepped backward. "Security," she called. No answer. The silhouette disappeared. Her pulse hammered. She grabbed the photo and hurried toward the witness stand phone. Still dead. But another sound replaced it. Metal sliding. Behind the courtroom doors. Someone unlocking bolts. Relief flooded her. "Hello?" The handles turned slowly. She stepped closer, hope rising. The doors opened halfway. Dark hallway beyond. Empty. No one there. She leaned forward. "Hello?" That's when the doors slammed shut again, hard enough to shake the walls, locks snapping back into place. She stumbled backward. Someone wasn't trying to help her. Someone was making sure she stayed. The lights died completely. Only emergency exit strips glowed red. Shadows stretched long and thin. Her breathing echoed. Then, a projector hummed alive. The evidence screen flickered on. Static filled it. She stared. Because the system had been broken earlier, technicians couldn't fix it. Static cleared. Video appeared. Courtroom camera footage. Empty benches. Time stamped earlier that morning. Before the judge arrived, she leaned closer. Nothing moved. Then the doors opened in the recording. The accused man walked inside. Alone. But he wasn't alone for long. Another figure followed, new face hidden under a hood. They argued silently. No audio. Suddenly the hooded figure shoved him. Hard. The accused man staggered, hands raised defensively. Then the hood fell back. She gasped. The prosecutor. He struck first. Not self-defense. Not accident. Violence. The accused man never touched him. The confession made during trial suddenly felt different. Forced. The recording ended. Screen went black. Her mind raced. The judge must have seen this. That's why he stopped the trial. But why hide it? Why dismiss everything, unless exposing it meant destroying someone powerful? Footsteps sounded again, closer this time. Inside the courtroom. She turned slowly. Someone stood near the jury box. Tall, still, face hidden by shadow. "Who are you?" she whispered. The figure stepped forward. A maintenance worker's uniform. Keys dangling. Relief almost came, until she noticed the gloves. Court maintenance never wore gloves indoors. He spoke quietly. "You weren't supposed to see that." Her throat tightened. "What is happening?" He tilted his head toward the screen. The trial ended because the truth is dangerous. He walked closer, slow, measured. She backed toward the bench. "You locked me in." "Yes." "Why?" "So you understand what the judge understood." His voice held no anger, only exhaustion. "The prosecutor isn't just a lawyer," he continued. He protects people who never stand trial." Her hands trembled. "So the judge covered it up?" "No," he said softly. He delayed it. He reached into his pocket, pulled out another photograph, placed it on the desk. She looked. Her breath vanished. The judge stood beside investigators, federal badges visible. The trial dismissal wasn't mercy, it was bait. They needed him to believe he won, the man said. Tonight, they move. Sirens wailed faintly outside, growing louder. Red and blue lights spilled through high windows. The maintenance worker smiled slightly. You stayed longer than expected. Boots thundered in the hallway. Multiple voices, commands shouted. Locks disengaged one after another. The courtroom doors burst open. Agents flooded inside. Weapons lowered quickly when they saw her. One approached. "Are you injured?" She shook her head. "What's happening?" He nodded toward the screen. We were waiting for confirmation the footage survived." Behind them, another figure entered. The prosecutor, handcuffed, face pale. He locked eyes with the screen. Realization breaking across his expression. "You set me up," he whispered. The judge stepped in behind him. Calm, tired. "No," the judge replied. "You exposed yourself." The clerk's knees weakened. Everything rearranged itself in her mind. The broken screen, the rushed dismissal, the locked doors. Someone needed a witness, not in court, but afterward, because conspiracies revealed themselves when they believed nobody watched. The accused man entered moments later, free, confused. He stared at the prosecutor, then the judge. Silence stretched. "You knew," he said quietly. The judge nodded once. "I needed him to act without protection." Agents escorted the prosecutor away. Rain poured outside. The tension drained slowly. The clerk realized something else. If this was planned, why lock me inside? The maintenance worker answered gently. "Because someone else came after hours." Her stomach twisted. "Someone else?" He nodded toward the balcony. Agents dragged another person down the stairs. A juror, hands shaking, crying. "I was told to destroy the recording," the juror sobbed. Money fell from her coat pocket. Bundles wrapped tight. The room felt smaller, the conspiracy larger. The judge looked at the clerk. "I'm sorry," he said. But honest witnesses are harder to silence." She understood. If anything happened to her tonight, someone powerful would be exposed. Sirens faded as arrests continued. Lights returned fully, normal again, almost. She packed her box quietly, hands still trembling. As she walked toward the exit, she glanced back once. The courtroom looked ordinary, benches empty, screen dark, like nothing had happened. Outside, dawn hinted at the horizon. Reporters gathered already, and news spreading fast. The accused man paused beside her on the courthouse steps. "Why did you stay?" he asked. She thought about the locked doors, the shadow watching. The moment truth played on a screen, nobody expected to work. "Because someone had to see it," she answered. He nodded slowly. Across the street, federal vehicles drove away, carrying people who thought they controlled justice. Rain stopped. Sunlight broke through clouds. Just behind them, courtroom lights shut off one final time. But this time, the silence felt earned, because justice didn't always happen during trial. Sometimes it waited until the doors were locked and the truth finally had nowhere left to hide.